They say that it's all about the rhythm of life, the cycle of planting, nourishing, and preserving. Today, we're tapping into the rhythm of Survival Seeds 2026 with an update. And we're also updating our Bantam flock with all the new arrivals and a few resourceful hacks to make sure nothing goes to waste. Let's get busy. Thank you, friends, for joining me today. This is the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess, and we are a resourceful homestead. So, welcome into my kitchen. Let's get busy. Let's go out in the garden, see what's growing, and y'all just enjoy the time and fellowship together. First tomatoes of the season. These are Amish Paste, and we have already collected some. We're going to let them finish ripening in the house. Whoops, I lost one. But we have tomatoes coming in, which means Tennessee Elmina's kitchen has got to get finished so I can start canning. I also picked a strawberry today. I don't know what I did with it. I picked a strawberry off our vine. It was the first good one I've gotten. Oh, there it is. I found it. Got too many pockets. Off our strawberry vines. I always replant the stem of this because there's so many seeds on the outside. I can get new plants. I've got juice running down my hand. So delicious. Survival Seeds 2026. I planted Genovese basil, shishitsu peppers, pink brandywine tomatoes, aroma tomatoes, calendar bell peppers, celery, and I did plant spinach, but it bolted and it died out very quickly. So that's what you're looking at here are these little seedlings that have come up. So I'm really excited to share an update with y'all. I'm a little behind in the season, but that's all right. We're going to try our best to get everything growing. So here are the rest of the plants. That's the shishito peppers and the Genovese basil is doing the best out of everything. And of course the celery. And I'm going to show you a few other plants. We have eggplant. Let's see what else I've got over here. There's the other eggplant. I don't know what happened. One of the eggplant blossoms fell off. And we've got our aroma tomatoes that we bought from the Amish. So they're doing very well as well. Really excited about everything that's growing so far this year. And there is our celery from Survival Seeds 2026. All the details will be in the description box below. Thank you for the hosting that. My Amish friend asked me if I could grind up some sage for her, and of course I said yes, but she was worried and concerned that it didn't have much flavor. So what I did was a taste test, and it didn't taste like sage to me. But I had fresh sage from my garden from last year, so I mixed the two together and got it into our blender, and y'all, it turned out perfect. The oils transferred onto the other sage, and it all smelled and tasted like sage should taste. So here I am getting ready to jar it up. You can see it made quite a bit between hers and mine. She had about a half a gallon in her bag, and of course I had to remove the stems, but it's all ground. And I'm actually going to give her the larger jar because I don't use as much sage as they do. And we're going to divide this between the two of us, and we'll both have fresh sage. Now, I usually use a bay leaf or an oxygen absorber with my herbs that does not have any salt or sugar in it, just as a precautionary thing. So she's going to get a bay leaf in the top of her jar, and hopefully it will last the rest of the season until new sage appears and can be dried. So this is how we salvaged some sage that had lost its savor. And of course, it's always a pleasure when I can help my Amish friends with something that they might not be able to do themselves. So there's the bay leaf going into the jar, and I've already labeled the jar and got it ready for her. And then I have a smaller jar that I'm going to put the rest of the sage in. And I'm using a little scoop here to get it into the jar, but I'm going to also be able to rake most of this into the jar. And it smells so amazing, y'all. I was really impressed that the oils actually did mix into all of the leaves. So it tastes like sage all the way through this batch. So there we go. Shake that jar down because this one's a little bit on the full side. I've already got an oxygen absorber in there and a bay leaf, and that will be my jar. Here at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, we're all about being resourceful, frugal, and intentional. So I hope that you'll come around, you'll check out some of our videos from the past, some of the playlists. That helps me with my watch hours and views. And watch those shorts because I'm showing you the new babies that have just hatched in our BB Red Bantam chicken coop. We have plenty more eggs underneath our hens, and we have some that have already hatched and outgrown the brooder and have been released. And y'all, there wasn't a single rooster in the bunch. We have 11 hens added to that. We have 6 nest boxes in here, and you will see multiple chickens on top of some of these eggs. And I have to keep moving the eggs around to make sure that everybody has some eggs to sit on. And I think we got about 15 or 20 left that hasn't hatched yet. But we have several of them peeping. And y'all, they want to attack my hand every time I reach under them. And here is the last 2. Sorry about my angles, y'all. So as of today, we have about 15 or 16 new baby chicks that have hatched. These are the BB Red hatchlings from earlier this year. There was 11 that survived, and every single one of them is a female. You can tell by that telltale sign of their tail, that fan-shaped tail, that they are all females. Which was really surprising because we usually get a couple of roosters in the bunch. And here are our older roos and some of our older hens. And y'all, they fight for space in those nest boxes. Every one of them is broody.
Chick, 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 chick. You got them all peeking out. Yes, sir. Got them all peeping. Look at them. Yeah, look at the babies. Look at the babies. They're peeping out of there. You a good mama? You good mama? Yeah. That's a good mama. Look at you. Look at there, boy. Ain't that cool? That's cool. Mama got him peeping out. She's a good mama girl. Mama girl got them all. Should be 14 or 15 underneath her.
I've already ran my cream through my blender, and I'm pouring off the buttermilk, and we're going to let that sit on the counter to clabber. and then we'll have fresh buttermilk. So this is butter from 2 gallons of milk. Usually I get about 3 cups of cream off of a gallon. Sometimes I get a little more, sometimes a little less, but basically that's what I usually get. So I've been draining this butter, and it's time for me to get it washed and ready to be put away. So we got to get it all gathered together, and you can see all that milk that's still inside that butter that needs to come off, or your butter will sour. So you want to make sure that you squeeze it and you rinse it really, really well in order to have a good butter. Now, after I get this stage done, you can always add salt. We don't hardly ever add salt to our butter, but I'm just using running water to get my butter ready for it to go into the freezer and get all that milk rinsed away. Now we have done all of that work, and I have set it on a paper towel and allowed it to drain on the paper towel, and that just absorbs any liquids that might be still on there. And I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, and I'm going to roll this in the parchment. Now, you don't have to use parchment. You can put it directly into a container if you have a container that's freezer safe, or you can use plastic wrap or wax paper. I've used all 3, but I prefer the parchment because I can roll it and secure it into the package. So I just roll the top over, and then I fold down and turn the ends in and then fold them under. And then I'm going to squish it down a little bit so it'll lay flat in my freezer. And there's my pat of butter from 2 gallons of milk. Let's go enjoy the wildflowers and flowers in our yard. I love summertime, and I'm so glad that these wildflowers come up every year. Today's kitchen projects plus dinner. Thank you, friends, for watching, liking, commenting, hyping, and sharing. Be blessed and a blessing.